Hello everyone, this is my friend Galactus, the one I talked about before, and this is the 19-inch Galactus from Gigantic Battles from Marvel Universe of Hasbro. As you can tell, this guy is towering over this entire collection of the puny human heroes and villains from Marvel Icons Toybiz line that came way before Marvel Legends. But this guy I like to start with first because he's electronic and he's just downright awesome. Let's see what else he can say. He sounds awesome in the trembling voice. I imagine him to talk like this in the comics too. Yeah, that's the spirit. This is how he looks at the back. And he towers over any 6-inch figure or any other sizes that's beneath 19-inch. But he looks absolutely amazing. He was also released as a variant. And the variant was only available in the California convention a few years back. This version was available at the retail. But nonetheless, that's Galactus for you. The ultimate one, I would say. Now this other fellow doesn't really fit into this line right here, but I like him nonetheless. This is the superposable Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2. The Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, not the present one. And this figure is absolutely amazing because he has 67 points of articulation, if my memory serves me well. And you can pose him any way you want. And he looks absolutely amazing sculpt-wise, articulation-wise. Just one great figure. And you can see how he looks at the back. This is a replica of his costume in the movie, I believe, that he wore at the time. Much better than the costume in the present movies, I would say. Nonetheless, absolutely amazing figure. Again, very tall, I would say towering over any other figure, because this one is at least probably around 16-17 inches all in all. Maybe more. Nonetheless, I decided to show him to you because he's the only one of its kind from that series, to my knowledge. Anyway, on to some other figures that are also just as large, but not as large in the sense of being really tall, but nonetheless. This would be 12-inch line, but not Build-A-Figure line. This was what you see in front of you, made by Toybiz. And they call them Marvel Legends Icons. Pretty much most of these except this one. This one was based on the Fantastic Four movie that came out. And he was released as part of the Fantastic Four movie line. But nonetheless, he's also massive and quite big. And it represents Thing from the Fantastic Four. I'll just pull him out for a closer inspection. That's how he looks like. Michael Chilkis is the actor who played him in the movie. At least in the first two movies, they never released part 3. So he's not bad. Quite a nice rocky exterior. He never came with no accessories, but he looks quite good. And the remaining members of Fantastic Four are available in this size if you ever find them. He looks pretty nice from among all of them. So that's him. Now, here comes the Hulk. Marvel Legend Icons. Marvel Icons series, Toybiz. And he was available in 2 different versions. This is the regular one. Your typical green Savage Hulk. But the variant would be the all grey Hulk, or the first appearance Hulk. Same sculpt, except the head and the facial expression were different. And of course the color. But I only have the regular one. I do not have the variant, which was more difficult to get back in the day. Nonetheless, massive figure, excellent facial expression, articulated fingers to make him make a fist. Very good figure and very massive. And this is the comparison, a quick one, between him and the Rock guy. They're roughly the same size, so that's why I think they're quite compatible. And they can pretty much well go on your display together. Now, some of the other members of the Avengers, because as we all know, Hulk was a member of the Avengers. Here is a version of Iron Man in one of his armors. This particular Iron Man was again part of the Toybiz Marvel Icons line. He came with a comic book or a poster book, I'm not sure which, but there was no accessories. This could be maybe counted as an accessory because his mask can be removed and we can meet Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark underneath. Although I'm pretty sure that Robert Downey Jr. has a collection of every Iron Man toy ever made, so nonetheless, this is the mask. And I would suggest if you're gonna put it on the face, keep in mind that you should really keep it adjusted because it easily comes off. Nonetheless, it's a very nice representation. Here's how he looks at the back. And there was the same version like this made in the Toybiz Marvel Legends, but he was made in 6" with the exact same sculpt, just smaller. So nonetheless, that's Iron Man. One of my personal favorites, Captain America. In his relatively classic look, classic costume, with a removable shield that has straps on the other side. This is one amazing figure, and this is exactly how he looked on the Toybiz Marvel Legends, 6" size. This is just an enlarged version of the same, and I believe the one that was 6" came from Face Off Marvel Legends 2-pack, where he was packed together respectively with either Red Skull or Baron Strucker. I actually possess all of those, but more about them another time. This is how he looks at the back. Very nicely done figure with very glimmering costume. And a lot of detail on the pouches on the belt, the military pouches. Then next in line, another favorite of mine, the God of Thunder, Thor, with a cloth cape, which is very nice rather than sticking him with a plastic one. Very nicely done. And of course the accessory would be the Mjolnir, his mystical helmet, his mystical hammer, sorry about that. Slight error. Please don't kill me yet. He has a lot of articulation. He's also from the Marvel Icon series, but this time this was not done by Toybiz. This fellow was done by Hasbro. Because Hasbro decided, when they got the license, to just continue this line and see how many more characters they can release. And they did release a few, in different style packaging and in different selection of characters from Toybiz. Now when it comes to this particular series from the Hasbro, I only have Thor from it. There is still a version of Wolverine available in Hasbro series, and then there is also Phoenix, Magneto, Nightcrawler, Colossus, 2 versions of Daredevil, but I don't have any of those as of yet. Thor was the one I really liked, and not to forget there is also Silver Surfer as well. But nonetheless, Thor is one of my favorites. I like to grab any version of Thor I can find in any size, as long as I like it. And this is his classic costume, as you can tell. Very nicely done figure. Absolutely nice. The only issue is the wings on the helmet very easily bend, which is driving me insane. And I keep trying to straighten them up, but no luck so far, but I keep trying to somehow keep them straight up. I don't like to tug them too much, they might break in the end, so I'm sure you guys who have him might have encountered the same problem. Next in line, Marvel Icons Toybiz Wolverine. This one was released as a regular version, but there was also a variant version of this one back in the day without the mask. That was also applicable for Iron Man, who was released without the face mask, and also for Captain America, who was also released back then without the mask. Nonetheless, this Wolverine is based more on his, I believe, astonishing look, or whichever look, because this is not his classic costume. But the colors are almost the same, I would say. And the mask is slightly different from his usual one that he wears. He comes with the claws, which are not detachable, and articulated fingers on both hands, and typical articulation that you would also find in the Marvel Legends 6-inch as well. And this is how he looks from behind. He would be made in a slightly hunched position and slightly shorter in height, because as we all know, I guess that's how he did appear in the comics. He was shorter than others, but far more aggressive, as we all know. So, that's Wolverine for you. And then we go to a sideline of Marvel icons that was releasing also roughly 10-11 inch figures of the SpiderMan characters only. It was a very short-lived line, but this was the best villain made in that line. The Green Goblin, another interpretation of his costume, I guess. And he has so much detail, as you can tell. Beautiful detail with a very, very nasty facial expression, which can scare anyone out there. And he has a great deal of detail on his armor, and on the boots, and on the gloves, and he even has 2 bags that carry his pumpkin bombs, which is just amazing. He's very well equipped, but unfortunately, I'm sorry to emphasize yet again the fact that he does not come with a glider. Why in the Lord's name they like to release this character in every conceivable form and size when it comes to large sizes, but they never include a glider? Please don't ask me that, because I honestly wouldn't know the answer to that, but there is one Green Goblin that was released in this size, in different costume, and he was part of a series called Marvel Unleashed, and that one does come with a pumpkin bomb and a glider. But that one, I believe, is a bit more difficult to find because it was released in very small numbers. But nonetheless, this one was part of the series of Spider-Man characters where we saw the release of Green Goblin, Daredevil in a red costume, his typical costume, this particular Spider-Man that also came from that line, and he has a good range of motion and articulation, and he's quite light in weight, but his hands are not articulated, they're just pre-molded into the web shooting poses. So you cannot have him hold a fist or anything like that. He also came in another variant from this series, and that would be the black costume Spider-Man. And aside from that, there would be also one more villain, which is Venom. And Venom is the only other villain released in that series in a large size aside from Green Goblin. I do not have Venom, and unfortunately I don't have Daredevil. These are the only 2 from that series that I do have, and they actually look pretty amazing. Because again, I like their size, I like their sculpting, and did I mention I like the size? Because the size is what matters in regards to these toys, that they're big, bulky, and they look good on a display. That is all for now. I will not bug you guys any further. Until next time, catch another update soon. Thank you.